Hey folks, Brian coming at you here. In this video, I want to go over something new that we have added for the King of the Mound 3D and King of the Hill 3D, and that is the Big Bucks Money Shoot. So a lot of folks over the years have requested some type of actual competition at those events. Since they're more just for fun and bragging rights between you and your shooting group, we've come up with an actual competition that's going to pay out, hopefully, some big bucks to the winner. So what this event is going to be is during the King of the Mound 3D and King of the Hill 3D, everybody's come to know our great practice range. We have 20 plus targets on that practice range. Well, we're going to divvy that down a little bit because most of those targets people aren't shooting anyways for the practice range. It's mostly for the after hours scramble. So we're going to take some of those targets, 9 targets to be exact, and we're going to move them over just a little bit. And we're going to have an area for the Big Bucks Money Shoot that Cousin Bob is going to be running for us at those events. So the way that this is going to go is there's going to be an entry fee. It's going to be 20 bucks the first time you shoot it. And then if you decide to shoot it more to keep working on getting a higher score, it'll be $15 for each additional one. The highest score for each day is going to be getting a vortex vinyl harness with a hand muff with a rangefinder, a whole kit. That's going to go to the top score of each day for Friday, for Saturday, for Sunday. Now, the top 3 scores for men and the top 3 scores for women over the entire 3 days is going to have a cash payout. We're going to do a 60% cash payout of whatever is in the kitty for those 2 groups, for the men and the women. So first place is going to receive a 30% payout, second place will get 20%, and third place will get 10%. The prize for the high score of the day with the Vortex vinyl harness kit, you got to be there to pick that up, either that night or the next day or sometime over the weekend. The prize money for the top score, you don't have to be there. We can send you the money after the fact, so don't worry about having to be there. You don't have to be there. Also, this is for anybody. You don't actually have to be a participant of those events to come and participate in this. If you have no interest in shooting some of our courses but want to come and participate in this, you can. Just check in at the registration booth so we make sure you have the waiver signed and all that kind of good stuff. But this is for anybody to compete in over the weekend. So now let's go and I'll explain to you how we're going to score the targets. So the scoring for the Big Bucks Money Shoot is going to be your typical IBO scoring. So my buddy Yogi here, center 12s, the heart line, the outer heart line is a 10. The vital, aka the lung line, is going to be an 8. A body is a 5. And a miss is a 0. Now the one thing that we might change, which I haven't decided yet, and which I think it's only fitting since this is the Beast Mode Archery Challenge, is that a body shot is going to be -5. So don't be surprised when you arrive day of if we decide to do a body shot is -5 for this event. So that's how we're going to score. 12, 10, 8, 5, 0, but the 5 might be a -5. So the Big Bucks Money Shoot is going to be a 9 target competition. There's going to be 3 stations. So we have 3 shooting stations with 3 targets per station. For demonstration purposes here, we have 3 targets out here, and we'll have 3 cones that you'll be shooting from for each of those 9 targets or each of the 3 stations. And don't worry, we'll have them numbered. Cousin Bob will be there to help you out. Now, only one person is going to be shooting at each cone. So we're not going to have multiple people shooting at each cone. We're going to keep it fair that you're the only person shooting those targets. That way, the next person up doesn't have an arrow, a marker to go off of. So we're keeping it legit like that only one person is going to be shooting for each station. Now, the stations are going to be a little different. One station will be a regular shooting position. So you can stand, you can kneel, you can do whatever you want, however you feel comfortable for tackling those 3 targets. One station is going to be a seated position to mimic you know, you're hunting from a ground blind or whatever it might be. So have probably a folding chair or some type of chair that's easy to draw from and sit from and stuff like that. But one station will be seated that you have to shoot all 3 targets from that seated position. And then the challenge station is going to be timed. You're going to have 45 seconds to shoot all 3 targets. And we'll go through this here in a second. We'll demonstrate this. But Bob is going to go ready, set, go. And at go, you already have your arrow knocked and ready, and you'll probably already have the target's range. You know, you can use your rangefinder, you can use your optics, but you have 45 seconds to get all 3 of those arrows off. Okay, so that means ready, set, go, and at go, you can draw and start firing away. Again, 45 seconds to get all 3 of your arrows off. That's going to be the challenge station. So it's not going to be a super easy 9 target station. The distances that you should expect is out to 60 yards. We're not going to push anything probably beyond 60 yards. So our max distance will be 60 yards for this money shoot competition, big bucks money shoot, however you want to call it. So when you're at each shooting position, it'll be up to you how you want to have your arrows. You can either have them in your quiver on your bow, or if you have a hip quiver, or if you want to have them stuck in, more than likely we're going to have 3 cones for the shooting position, and you can have them in the cone for you as well. Doesn't matter how you want to have those, and really the only one that is going to really matter is the timed one, so that you can be as quick as you can with your arrows. So that's up to you. Now in terms of the shooting position, we are going to make sure that you're either straddling the cone or touching the cone in one way or another, either behind it or like next to it here. So, and again, Bob will be there to explain all this for you and make sure that everything is legit. So don't worry. All right, so let's go over the timed challenge shot for the 3 targets. My lovely wife Anne-Marie is in place for cousin Bob, so she's going to be timing me on this. But this way you can kind of get a feel for what we're going to be doing. Now, when he starts the time, he's going to go ready, set, go. At go, you can draw and make those 3 shots. But what he's also timing, though, is we're also starting a timer for the other 2 stations, because we're going to have a cap of 3 minutes on the other 2. So you have 3 minutes, which is more than enough time to get your 3 arrows off on those other 2 stations. This just helps to speed things up for those of you that like to take your do-dandy time when you're shooting your arrows. So this is the way it's going to go. I have my arrows here. By this time, I've already ranged these targets. I've probably used my optics to figure out where I'm going to be aiming for. So all that is already done. I have my sight set. If you have a single pin sight, be prepared. You might be using that single pin for multiple different distances at this station. So be aware of that, or be quick at changing your sight if you have a single pin sight. So here you go. So I'm locked, loaded. I'm waiting for Anne-Marie to give me the okay here.
Ready, set, go. "38 seconds.
Let's go see how bad I did. Not too shabby. Got a 12. First one. This was the first target in the sequence, and it was the closest, so I guess that should be your best one. Second one was the antelope. Saw it hard, not too shabby. Take that shot. And the last one was the Bennett Ram. Not too bad. Another heart. But you can see 12, 10, 8. Anything outside of that line would be a 5 or a -5, like I said. And then a miss is a 0. So that's the details of the Big Bucks Money Shoot at King of the Hill and King of the Mound 3D. I hope for those that are coming, you'll participate and have a good time with this. And again, if you're not shooting in the event, you're still welcome to come and participate in this. The hours that this will be going on, check the website as we get closer to the event, but it's probably going to be around start time of the event on Friday until 6 or 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, again, probably start time of the event, and we'll cut it off probably at 6 p.m. Saturday evening because we have other stuff going on after that. And on Sunday, again, the start of the event until probably noon, sometime between noon and 2. But we'll have that updated on the website as we get closer to those events, which are just right around the corner. Now we will have a whiteboard with the leaders on it so that as you shoot, maybe then you go out and shoot a course or two and you want to come back and see where you're at, we'll have an updated leaderboard so that everybody can see where they're at in terms of where they stand for the potential high score for the day, and if you're in the running for the top 3 for the cash payout at the end of the weekend. So hope this is something that you guys are gonna find some enjoyment with, and maybe another reason to have some bragging rights between you and your shooting group. So hope to see you at Bruce Mound and Tyrrell Basin coming up this summer.
Ooh la